Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, DoorDash warns customers that orders without a tip may take longer to be delivered. Orders with no tip might take longer to get delivered. Are you sure you want to continue? Is a prompt that shows up for people as they are placing the orders. So, before you even get your food, it seems that DoorDash is telling their customers like, hey, are you sure you don't want to enter a tip before you actually receive your food? Because if you don't add a tip before you actually get your order, there's a chance that it probably won't get picked up because they won't see the total amount that they could earn, which means that your order might sit there for a while before someone actually decides to pick it up. And I have driven for DoorDash in the past, and I know that they have incentives for the drivers if there's an order that's been sitting out there for a while. So let's just say that you have a time slot of 7 o'clock and it's getting like 6:45 and no one has picked it up yet. DoorDash will tell the dashers, the people that are delivering the food, like, hey, if you pick this up, we'll throw in an extra however many dollars, which, you know, it's good for the drivers and such, but it's just kind of wild from a customer standpoint. Like, I've used DoorDash in the past, and I'm all for tipping people that provide a service for you. Like, I tip my servers, tip barbers, delivery drivers, everything like that. But it's just such a weird concept that you kind of had to add the tip like before the service is prepared. Like, could you imagine just going to a restaurant and before you actually like receive the food or get or gauge what type of service you're getting from the waiter or waitress, if there's like, hey, you kind of have to tip before you get your meal and everything, just that's just what's going to happen, or I'm going to serve everyone around you because I know that those people are tipping before they actually receive their service. Like, I consider myself like a decent tipper. I usually, like, minimum, my average is like, 20%. And then, like, depending on the service, it could go up or it could go down. That's just kind of how I've been operating. And it just makes sense to me because in my eyes, like, sure, the server might rely on those tips as, their salary. But at the same time, if you get a real crappy server, like, do they really deserve like a high quality tip? In my eyes, no. Like, that they're there to provide a service to you. Like, that's kind of their job. Like, anyone could just bring your food from, point A to your table, but, they kind of have to give you decent service. But that's just how I think. I mean, it might be controversial just to say that, but that's just how I feel. And when I delivered for DoorDash, I didn't expect like, a tip. Like, tips were nice, don't get me wrong, and when I got one I was thrilled, but it's not like I like was trying to demand tips from people like in the very beginning. I don't even know if back when I did DoorDash, if you were able to see like the total amount that you were getting, or people even had the option to tip like before they actually received their food. Like, when I purchase food through DoorDash, I pay for my order, like I pay for my food, and then I'm pretty sure there's a option at the end to add the tip, and that's when you do the tip. Because like, what if your driver like took forever? Because I know sometimes DoorDash drivers, like, they'll pick up multiple orders, and if your order is like the second one, like they'll pick up 2 orders, drop off one, and then come drop off yours afterwards, and your food is cold, and it's like that's just a horrible experience. So in that situation, I could see it justified not leaving a tip or leaving a low tip, whatever, because the quality of service that you received was poor. Therefore, the quality of the tip that the driver should receive should also be poor. Like, tipping culture has just been really insane. I'm not sure if it's insane like throughout the world or just in the US, but like I said, I found this post on X, so I didn't know if it was legitimate, but there are news sources out there that is basically just talking about this, that DoorDash is just reminding customers that the orders might be quicker if they tip their driver like before the service is even done. That's just crazy to me. And like I said, like sure, they could see the total amount that the total order is going to be earning for them, but I also wonder, if you tip before the service is done, does the customer have the option to take back some of the tips if the service that they receive is poor? In which case, I guess this is a viable option, but at the same time, it seems like kind of a scummy thing to do. If, like, say you tip a 25% or 30%, and then like they provided excellent service, and then you go back in later, like, you know what, actually, I'm just gonna give you 10%. That just seems kind of shady to me. So I don't know. I haven't delivered for DoorDash at any time recently, but I just saw this pop up on my feed on X and just really wanted to talk about it, because anytime I go to a restaurant now and I am planning on using my credit card, I know I'm going to get hit with, flipping the screen around. Do you want to tip like 15, 20, 25%, even though you're just getting takeout? The only thing I'm doing is handing you the food and you're taking it home. But still, do you want to add, any type of tip on this? That doesn't make sense to me. If I'm going to a restaurant, sit down restaurant, and a server is serving us, then it makes sense to tip. But if I'm just going to a place and just ordering takeout and cleaning all my food and utensils and whatever at home, then I usually don't tip in that situation. And I'm conflicted on what I do at coffee shops. Sometimes I will, sometimes I don't. Like I said, it just depends on the situation. But again, it's the same scenario where they're just kind of making the coffee, handing it to you, and then you're just on your merry way. If anything, the people that should be getting the tips, I guess, should be the cooks if they're providing good service. But I know that the chefs typically aren't getting tipped, I'd assume. I mean, some places maybe they might split some of it with the cooks, but I guess because like the chefs typically make better salary than the servers do, because I know the United States servers get paid probably like $2 or $3 per hour, and then they just have to live off of the tips. But ultimately, it should be the employer that pays like their employees a decent wage for their job. That's personally what I think. I wonder what would happen if DoorDash like started paying their employees like, no, let's just say $10 per hour or X amount of dollar per order, and then they keep all the tips. I wonder what a situation like that would look like. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.